Now, of course, in my history, specifically in dating, I know exactly what a red flag is. I'm very familiar with physically and what the term means.
Right.
AJ and McCall on VFX. That being said, the concept of a green flag in context and contextually, I totally get what it's supposed to mean. So I'm very familiar with red flags, so green flag should be the opposite. I got it.
Right.
But yesterday I scrolled across something that said the green flags of job hunting, and it weirded me out because I've never seen green flag or heard green flag. The phrase has never been used before.
No.
That I've seen.
I feel like it's normally green light. And maybe that's just, thanks to Matthew McConaughey and his book or whatever. But I feel, or Lord, I mean, really, because she's got that song that's out. But I feel like it's normally green light. Or checkered flag. White flag, not green flag.
See, that's what's interesting because right there, there's a red flag. Yeah, red flag in NASCAR means rain delay of all things. But so like white flag is last lap, but it means you're giving up or surrendering.
Yeah.
But that's not a NASCAR thing. And the checkered flag, you're at the finish line, all that. So again, the green flag contextually makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Like I feel like as soon as I said it, there's plenty of people like, okay,
oh, yeah.
I get it.
I got it, but
has anybody ever actually seen it used? Because yesterday was the first time I've ever seen it used. And it's not like it confuses me, and it's not like I'm like, no, this is stupid. I get it.
Right.
Because red flag means warning signs, don't go this way. Green flag means here's good signs, go this way.
Right.
It feels weird that I've never heard it used in a vernacular before. It's the same thing as we were joking it was a couple months ago in the office. Gruntled actually is a word.
That's weird.
Which to me
I
doesn't
like
make
it.
any sense because disgruntled, you're unhappy, you're frustrated, all that. Gruntled means the opposite. You're fine. You're perfectly gruntled. You're perfectly fine.
No, I
Which
don't
doesn't
like it.
make any sense to me because
It
gruntled
sounds
just
jarring.
Yeah, gruntled sounds unpleasant. Yeah, exactly.
That's what it sounds like. No.
Gruntled sounds like a version of groggy and grumpy. You just like when you first get up, you're like, just give me 15. Just
Give me 25 years.
The world, leave me alone.
Yep.
But apparently, it's fine. You're fine. If you are gruntled, you are content. If you're disgruntled, you're unhappy.
I don't like it.
I think they both should mean the exact same thing.
Yep.
So I don't know. That's English language is a weird thing. We're just having a conversation yesterday about I can't even remember what it was. We were doing our video shoot, and I was like, the English language just doesn't make any sense. There's no explaining it. That's just flat out how it is.
No.
Speaking of disgruntled, look, the AJ and McCall show is nothing against senior pranks, unless the cops get called, get arrested or hurt, people get suspended. Those things are not what's supposed to happen.
No.
Fortunately, sometimes those things happen.
Yeah.
We're very pro senior prank as long as, again, the cops aren't called, nobody's hurt or arrested, and nobody's suspended.
Yes.
That means you probably went just a
little bit too
far.
Just a little bit too far.
AJ and McCall at VFX is streaming online at utahsvfx.com. Like seniors in Texas right now who are facing the wrath of the Reaper.
Oh, man. So they decided they were going to fork the yard. The field. The field is what I was talking about.
Yeah, grass. They're going to fork some area of grass.
So, which I don't understand the concept
really
of it.
Worth the time, by the way?
I don't know. I mean,
That's
maybe
just
it's
a lot
like
of-
it's exciting that you're stabbing something. I don't know. Maybe you just need to go to therapy. I don't know. Get you a voodoo doll
It's a
instead.
lot of time to
But
invest.
honestly, so half of the senior graduating class got suspended over it,
That's a lot.
which is a lot. But I don't understand why this was like oh my gosh, this is the best senior prank ever. Like, I remember when I was in high school, our senior prank, somebody so I went to Bear River High School, and Box Elder and Bear River have had this rivalry for I don't know how long it's been, but they used to be in the same region. I don't know if they still, I don't think they are now, definitely not, but they were in the same region for a while. And so there was this like ugly rivalry because they were just right across the county from each other. And somebody in my graduating class, they hiked up to the B on the mountain in Brigham City and they put an R next to it. And they didn't paint it.
I like that.
They didn't paint it. I think it was with trash bags. I think they all may or may not have gotten in trouble, but I think that they were looking for them. But they had him down by first period. Like, whoever it was, the school teachers and everything, they had the R down by first period. But I was like, yeah, that's not bad.
That's up in I think it's Arizona University has a same thing. They have a big A they have up on a mountain, and it's a yearly tradition that the students from Arizona will camp up there because Arizona State will try and go up there and do the exact same thing.
Oh, nice.
So it's a yearly college tradition there. Just saying.
I wonder if
Fox Elder.
Well, I'm curious. I don't think it's happened since. I don't think it's happened since then. But
nobody's saying that it should.
No. And I remember was it my sophomore year? My sophomore year at Bear River High School, they were doing construction, and there are 2 parking lots, and you used to be able to cross right in the middle of the 2 parking lots. There's a street over there, and you used to be able to cross right there and enter the school. Well, the middle part was getting remodeled, so all of that was under construction. So in order to walk across the crosswalk, walk across the street, you still had to go down the crosswalk, cross the street, and then come all the way back to literally right across the street from where the parking lot was. So everybody would get jaywalking tickets to go from that parking lot to the auditorium, basically, area. So they would get tickets. And so the senior prank that year, somebody painted a crosswalk, which caused an uprising. Oh my gosh. Like, you can't mess with that because that's state and property and that's illegal with the traffic violations, blah, blah, blah. And so it was like a whole thing. It was like, wow, but I thought that one was really creative.
Not bad. Not bad. Yesterday, we found out that the average person thinks they could survive 16 days in the wilderness. What are you smoking? That being said, if you were going to do it, you'd have to play through the pain. And good gosh.
Oh, yes.
People have some tolerance. In fact, I got something brand new added to my irrational fears list.
Oh, great.
I can tell you, I get a migraine. I think my day's mostly shot. I'm not necessarily calling in, but I'm coming in and I'm like, all right, we're working turbo mode and I'm going home.
Yep.
AJ and McCall on VFX for the Automatrix Group debate at 8. Try and work through a little bit of that payment. I'm done. My day's done. What amazes me about an Uber driver who was took his mission very seriously. I got to get these people their tacos. Got stabbed.
Which is insane.
Dude got stabbed.
Yeah.
You would think, all right.
Hospital.
These are special circumstances, and I'm not saying there's not jerk customers out there that still wouldn't make a big deal about it, but I'd like to think most people you heard, hey, your order's going to be a little delayed. Your Uber driver got stabbed. Be like, wait, okay, let me screenshot this and make sure that my vision didn't just go out all of a sudden.
Right. No, it's okay. It's okay. I don't need my food right now. You go to the hospital. You get yourself taken care of.
That dude was committed. He got them their tacos.
Proud of him. Way to go, bud. Way to go. For me, I remember there is one time and one time only that I have ever felt the need that I was like so unwell that I was like, I need to call in sick today. Mm-hmm. And that was when I, turns out, had the flu. Didn't know that I had the flu until after work. So I call my boss. I say, hey, I can't come in. This was when I was working at the bank. It was like 6 or 7 years ago now at this point. And they said, McCall, we need you to come in today. We've got the president of the state of Utah for this company that's going to be here. So it's like a big deal. We want to make sure that you're here because you make a good impression. I was like, it's great. I feel like I'm dying. I do not feel well. And they said, we just need you to come in and then you can call it early and go home. Well, early, quote unquote, came and went. And they were like, no, you need to stay through the rest of the day. I felt awful the entire day. It was the worst I'd ever felt. I went to the doctor. Surprise! I had the flu. And then I was off for the next week. And that was the worst I have ever felt. And I felt terrible for going into the bank. I felt terrible.
You spread COVID to everybody.
No, COVID didn't exist at that point, okay?
435-787-0945 to share your work through the pain story. To me, the one that stands out that I actually did, I was like, no, I'm going to do it. I don't even remember this because I can't remember particularly what date it was, but I would think it would probably be year 2 of the AJ McCall show, but I got a really bad sore throat, and I honestly don't remember being sick. I think I just lost my voice. So I came in, and I sounded like a frog all day.
Yep.
And producer Butters came in after the show, and he said specifically, you sound like that again. Don't come in. Just do.
Ever.
You sound terrible.
Never come back in again.
Sorry. Trying to do what I could for the team. My bad.
How dare you?
We got Vern on the phone. We know Vern. Vern, you've probably worked through more often than not something I couldn't take. I'll tell you that for sure. What's your work through the pain story?
People don't believe this one, but
Okay.
I had witnesses.
I'm ready.
I was working on a house down on Larlin, and I was nailing the edge metal, but I wasn't wearing my apron.
No.
I was just throwing it out in front of me, and I was on my knees, and as I went to move,
Oh, God, no.
I hit a 16 penny nail, just perfect, and it went up my wrist.
Ah!
Yeah. Only about probably a quarter inch of the head was showing. And my oldest brother, God bless his soul, he had a Leatherman on him.
Oh,
And I'm like, pull that out of there, please. Just pull that out of there. And it took some doing. I mean, he was yanking to get it out of there.
Oh, I'm going to throw up.
Yeah, and I hurried and put my hand on it for pressure once I got it out, and then looked at it. A couple drops of blood.
Oh, man.
It missed all the veins.
That's nuts.
All right.
So you know what I did?
Oh, no. What?
I went home, took a couple aspirins, and went back to work.
I wouldn't have done that. Also, put that on my irrational fears list. Whoever's keeping track of those back home, nailing myself, it's there now.
I don't
it's
like
on
it.
there. It's probably somewhere very high on the list now that I'm very concerned about.
Yeah.
How did you work through the pain? 68255, the number to text. Start your text with VFX. So the nailing myself is my new irrational fear, but fun fact, I didn't realize this when we were talking about it at the beginning of this week. I have the irrational fear that specifically my wrist, I'm just going to accidentally just and all of a sudden nick it. So then hearing that, it like triggered everything. I was like, this is the worst thing ever. I'm incapable of moving right now. I'm paralyzed with fear.
I'm sorry. You good now?
No.
Oh.
From Florida, is it working through the pain if you're the one that causes the pain?
I don't really know.
Working-induced pain? Integra Financial Services, Florida, not with AJ and McCall at VFX. 3 headlines, please.
Okie dokie. So we got headline number 1. Some guy got arrested after leaving an Oreo at a crime scene and then jumped off at the courthouse balcony during a hearing. Because why not?
The Oreo did him in?
I guess so.
Who would have guessed?
Then we got headline number 2. A lady who was nearly naked led the cops on a high-speed chase in a stolen car. She said it wasn't her stolen car. She didn't steal the car.
Of course not.
She had permission. Just the wrong person she had permission from. They didn't own the car, by the way. And then we've got headline number 3. A drunk couple got knocked out during a line-cutting brawl at a water park. I'd like it to be known that this week, well, not this week, this very day, instead of being Florida or not, it's like Ohio or Florida. So I don't know if Ohio's okay right now.
It should be worth noting. I thought you were going to say, also, when water, like the Aquatic Center opens this weekend and other stuff opens, amusement parks.
Please.
Don't get in fights.
For the love.
That's what you're going to say.
Can we please not get into brawls over line cutting?
Let's not do that.
There you go. 3 crazy stories.
Who would have thought Integra Financial Services, Florida, not with AJ and McCall at VFX, the thing to potentially doom in a criminal, a cookie.
A cookie.
Not just any cookie. An Oreo.
I love Oreos.
I mean, Alan, who would have thought that? You think an Oreo could bust you?
Yes.
Sounds like someone who's taken too many Oreos from somebody who didn't want to share. But all right, 3 full stories, please, McCall.
Okay, so we got story number 1. A 44-year-old man whose lawyer claimed he was too feeble to be sentenced for aggravated assault suddenly got the strength back when the judge denied his request on Thursday and ran out of the courtroom, jumped off of a 6th floor balcony. Now, he was being sentenced after being linked to DNA from a half-eaten Oreo cookie he left inside of an 82-year-old's home. So this guy, the
Who doesn't
elderly
finish
man,
an Oreo?
I know, elderly man gave this guy money back in 2019 after the creep claimed to be a neighbor who needed help paying his electric bill. He wasn't. He was just a POS. So jerk knocked him over, stole about $500 from him, and left his half-eaten Oreo. And they tested his DNA and ta-da, found him.
Busted by a cookie.
Idiot. There's story 1. Story number 2, Highway Patrol were alerted on Saturday morning that a stolen 2009 Cadillac was seen speeding through this lovely little county. Well, cops attempted a traffic stop. Driver decided, no, picking up the speed, going 110 miles an hour.
Jeez.
So just swerving in and out of traffic. Cops finally used a pit maneuver to get the woman off the road. Well, when they went to arrest the woman, turns out she was like naked. So they were like, ma'am, no. The woman claimed the car was her aunt's. It wasn't her aunt's. It was somebody else's. So she said I was allowed to drive it. She wasn't. So she got charged with grand theft, driving on a suspended license, and more.
Well, everyone knows that if you don't actually steal the car, it's fine if you do 110. It's whoever the original owners.
That's
fault,
right.
obviously.
They did 110.
Yeah.
And
duh.
then story number 3, a drunk couple got into a brawl at a water park last week after someone tried to cut in line. Both of these guys ended up getting knocked out. And then they both got arrested. So
No butts, no nuts, no coconuts.
guys, like,
Look, we're all eager to get outside.
I
Nicole.
know. It's infuriating to have people cut in line, okay? But also, how about don't, okay? It's not clear if they cut in line or if somebody else did. We don't know who threw the first punch, so.
You know what's worse than going one family later? Not getting to go at all because you got kicked out of the water
That's
park.
right. So there you go. 3 crazy stories.
Alan, out of all that, did anything stand out to you?
I don't know. Which one do you think is it?
Oh, boy. Okay, so the water park one, definitely not, because let's be honest, a lot of people are itchy to get outside. So, I hope do not happen here in Logan, but it could. I could see that. So it's 1 or 2. So is it the guy that got caught by the Oreo, or the stupid lady who was like, so yeah, I was doing 110, but this isn't my vehicle, so we're good. Also, just because I'm naked, completely ignore that. So, 2? 2?
I'm thinking we're going to go with story number 2.
You like 2 then. I talked him into it. The cookie can't doom both of us, right? It already doomed one. It can't doom us as well. McCall, is it story number 2?
It is. Congratulations. We've got you squared away with an Aquatech car wash. Hang on the line. We'll grab some info from you.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
Where was the cookie? I just want to know.
They were in Ohio. Remember? It was Ohio
oh, right,
or Florida.
You told me that.
2 stories from Ohio. 1 story from Florida.
Man, you ain't kidding. Ohio must not be doing
I don't.
all right.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I'm slightly worried, guys. Like, y'all okay? Cause what?
It's a story about a cookie.
Cookie guy was in Columbus, by the way.
Congratulations. Congratulations to Alan. He wins Florida Not, the Integra Financial Services Florida Not on VFX. Now, McCall, airport parking is an unmitigated nightmare.
Correct.
What happens, though? You find a loophole. You're going to leave with your friend, only you come back and you check your odometer, find out maybe, just maybe, that car didn't just sit still the whole weekend.
Uh-oh.
Kelly Clarkson finding her 3rd career, I guess, technically, or do you just group The Voice together with her show?
I just say that it's all just, a career.
Her show set to take over for
Ellen. Yep.
Which I think was inevitable. I think even when that first caught on, people were like, well, this is going to be the next big one.
Right. And she's done really well with it thus far.
Congrats to her.
Yeah.
AJ and McCall on VFX. Where are my manners? We're going to get to this Ferris Bueller story. But first, there was bonus Florida Not from our very own state.
That's right. We wanted to keep this one.
It was too obvious.
I figured you probably saw it if you saw the news, if you watched the news. So it wasn't going to be fair to just give this one away. This happened in Clearfield, okay? So a Utah man didn't want his girlfriend moving in, so he burned down his house. Like, look, if you want to have a conversation about whether your girlfriend should move in or not, that's a conversation. That is not an arson charge. Oh, man, looks like you can't move in. Don't know what you're going to do now. Darn it. Guess I got to move in with you. What?
Babe, I was thinking of moving in. See, there's one big problem with that. Oh, what's that? I don't have a house anymore, actually.
Yeah,
it burnt to the ground.
I don't know what happened.
It just gone.
Shocking. He said something like, I know exactly how the fire started. I started it because things with my girlfriend have not been going well. And if I burn down the house, I'd no longer have to worry about her moving in.
Or you could,
Have
break up with her would be a thought.
This is the problem with people who are so comfortable with the familiar. You get comfortable with the familiar, and then it's like, maybe I get in an uncomfy situation where I have to have a conversation. It's like, or I could burn down my house. This is a statement for everybody who is in a familiar situation and you think comfortable is better. It's not, okay? Just have a conversation and don't light your house on fire.
I mean, I've contemplated running away before to get out of a relationship,
Well,
but
not this one now.
but
Clarify.
not this one. But arson wasn't on the top of my list.
Turns out he caused significant damage to the place next door. Luckily,
Shocker.
it doesn't sound like anybody was hurt. Yo, bud.
Maybe that was just the spark of conversation he needed to talk to his neighbors.
Well, here's the great thing, okay? I'm sure the girlfriend didn't know until he told the cops that he didn't want her moving in, and it became a national headline.
I'm positive.
She's like, wow, just tell me that I'm a terrible human being then.
I gotta be
Gosh.
honest. How do you recover as the girlfriend in that
You
case too?
don't.
Because you're like, all right, so the boyfriend's crazy, right? But if you're the girlfriend, you're like, hey, aren't you the girl that the guy had burned down his own house to not be with anymore?
Yeah.
I don't think that lingers. I feel like that hangs over you for a minute.
Can somebody please give this woman a sitcom?
Oh my gosh. The relationship lessons just continue to roll out for Florida Not. Don't write bomb threats on the first date. Definitely talk as opposed to committing arson if you want to break up. I mean, it's just right there. It's crystal clear, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Bonus Florida Not on VFX. Okay. You parking in airports, it gets stupid expensive. Stupid expensive.
Yeah, it does.
So if you were able to find a friend who could do you a solid, why would you not take advantage of that?
For sure.
Oh, because maybe they're going to Ferris Bueller it and you come back and the odometer reads 300 extra miles. Ashley sent me this tweet, and I cannot believe this. AJ and McCall at VFX said, what would you do if you're parked your car at your quote-unquote friend's house while you were out of town and they drove it 300-plus miles to L.A. and back without asking you?
Oh, my.
Retweeted Utah's VFX. You can see the original tweet, and there's a thread of him going with it. Because apparently this person's been catching some flack because people are like, well, you should have left it at your friend's house.
What?
Yeah, her next tweet says,
no.
I'm tired of all y'all in the comments blaming me for something someone did to me. I live in the city. You can't leave your car in the street without getting tickets. You couldn't afford to pay $300 to leave it at the airport, so I left it with a friend I thought I could trust. Like, people giving her flack because she's like, well, you left it with your friend.
Well, yeah. Your friend should be your, friend who should not drive without saying, hey, yo, can I borrow your car for XYZ? I mean, it really should be that simple.
Yeah, like, to me, so if I was to do this, and I fly semi-often,
Every once in a while.
I'd be like, okay, I mean, if you choose to use it, I guess that wouldn't, blow my mind. Honestly, I think I'd forget to leave the keys because I still take them with me anywhere, even though I don't have my car with me.
Oh, man.
Just kind of force a habit.
That's terrifying to me.
Yeah, you leave them and you're like, SOL. I'm with
Oh,
you.
man,
I know,
sorry.
I know.
Accidentally left him in Hong Kong. I didn't mean to do that.
I know. But that being said, I guess if you decided to drive, I can't be mad because it's sitting there. But, I feel like that's within reason. Like, a fuel jaunts around the city for whatever reason, I guess. But you have your own car, it would just be weird to me. But, a road trip, absolutely not. That's just out of the question.
AJ, I'm proud of you for being very nice in this situation.
Oh, okay. You go ahead.
I would not be
Yeah, no,
very
go
nice
ahead.
in this situation.
Beat him up.
Yes.
I'll tell. I didn't see a thing, officer. I had no idea.
I don't know what kind of legal ramifications you can have with that kind of a situation. I will not, if I leave my car somewhere, I will not leave my keys. I will not.
That's generally my approach.
But
I'm with you.
But I don't know. There have been situations. So if I've left them at Dustin's mom's house, I've left my keys and stuff there, in case she needed to go get something. There have been situations I've left my car over at my mom's house before. And there are just a lot of people that come and go from my mom's house because
Right.
I have a lot of siblings and step siblings and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's no, absolutely not.
I
will
hear you.
not leave my keys there. And it's not because I don't trust my mom or my stepdad. It's because I don't know who could be hey, it sounds good. Let's just take this one for a joyride, okay? But I'm also not checking my odometer. Who is checking their
That's a good
odometer?
I feel like I have a general knowledge of what
But
mine is, but 300
I
miles
don't.
is
300 miles seems very small to me.
maybe
So
she was suspicious to begin with.
if you were suspicious to begin with, that's what I was going to say. If you're suspicious to begin with enough that you checked your odometer, unless you were at 1,000 miles and it's a brand new car or whatever, I don't think you should have left it there.
Interesting. Maybe the friend told him.
Maybe, but if you told them, why didn't you just ask?
I
You guys are trash humans. Don't freaking take other people's cars, okay? If you don't have permission to take it, you can't go, okay? What happens if you end up getting into some sort of an accident?
that's
Then
what-
your insurance isn't going to cover it because your friend, did you give him permission? No.
That's what I'm saying too. Is because if I'm with you with what you said about your moms. If it's somewhere like that, absolutely not. And honestly, this is a funny thing because this conversation comes up actually not regularly, but somewhat
Uh-huh.
in my family because, like, my brother, when he moved to Vegas, bought a new car.
Right.
My brother's policy was nobody but him and his wife could drive the car.
Correct.
Now, in emergency situations, I've driven it like 3 times, I think, at this point. And he took it with him when he moved. Now he's in Baltimore now, but he was back home for a little bit in Indiana. And I think it came up with my family there. They were like, "Are you going to let us drive the car?" And he said, "Absolutely not."
No.
And they said, "Why not?" He said, "You let your brother drive." He said, "Yeah, I don't want him to, but
But
he
I've let
did it,
him."
and I trust him. He's only done it like 3 times." He said, "No, I don't want anybody to drive it. It's my car."
There are not many people that have ever driven my car, and it shall stay
It's
that
just
way.
kind of one of your spaces.
It
too.
is.
That's
It
the
really
other
is.
thing.
Like, I don't want anybody sleeping in my bed. I don't want anybody driving my car.
Listen to the lady, what she said. Gosh, terrible people. Somebody Ferris Bueller a vehicle. 300 miles is more than a tank. That's several tanks of gas, too. Again, that's just ridiculous. Like, again, if I left it with a friend that I trusted and you decided whatever, I snagged your keys on accident or I just grabbed them because I just reached for something. I had to go to work or run and grab something. Yeah, all right. I mean, I'm not super pumped
I
about
wouldn't
it,
be cool about it.
but I could live with it.
I'd
But
be mad.
300 miles to L.A. or whatever. No, get out of here. Go away.
Thanks for making me think I need to put a GPS tracker on my car
You
now.
should. Low
Ugh,
jack that.
I don't like it.
On the subject of vehicles, actually, while we're talking about family, a study came out to reveal who the worst backseat drivers are. And for one of us in our family, it's absolutely true. For another one, it's not. Who is the worst backseat driver in your friend group, your family group, whoever, people you associate with? AJ and McCall at VFX, because according to a recent survey or study, it's those freshly trained teens. And apparently that's the difference, I guess, in street driving versus book driving.
Right. I would say
Sounds
yes.
ridiculous.
No, I just
But you actually get on the road.
This is street smart. So I would say definitely, like growing up, I remember I was always the worst when it came to like backseat driving because I had gotten my license at that point or whatever it was. And anyway, now I feel like it's like my younger siblings as well. So like
Poor McCall.
yeah, my younger sibling, Alex, they are always like nagging my mom on the way that my mom's driving. And my mom finally was like, "Fine, you just drive then." "No, I don't want to." "Okay, then don't tell me how to drive." Okay?
Just takes her hands.
You
got it.
You got
I'm
it.
done. My
These
hands are off the
yours.
wheel.
You do what you want to do. Yep.
See, for me, that I don't remember that ever being the case. I don't remember it being that way, and I don't know. Maybe I have selective memory, but I don't remember me. I don't remember my brother. My brother and I definitely argued over who was the better driver because it's just a sibling thing. But even my sisters, like my brother and I sort of had a hand in teaching our oldest sister for sure. I don't remember her being that bad, but it's always been my mom. When I had my learner's permit, right, and you only get to drive with someone who's got a license for X
Right.
amount of years, blah 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 blah. I drove once with my mom. We were supposed to go from like my high school to, I don't know, west side of town. I can't even remember where we're going. I got 2 miles into the like probably 5 to 10 mile trip. I was like, nope, pulled over. I was like, you drive, I'm done. Because I got so many. I wasn't going to hit anything. I didn't even come close to hitting anything.
See, I have gotten a lot better at driving since Dustin and
good.
I started dating. So, because I was a terrible driver, and Dustin was always like, why are you driving the way that you're driving, basically? So I started driving and like got better at it and have been like way more patient with the way that I drive and everything and given a lot more space. I'm pretty sure smashing in the back of a car probably did that for me.
Would seem to be a wake-up
Yeah,
call.
I think I was kind of like, you know what? Probably shouldn't have done that. So I've given myself a lot more space in between cars and everything. And I remember we were going down to Syracuse, maybe somewhere down Davis County-ish. And I was with my sister. My sister was driving, and I made her pull off at a Maverick. And I said, "You're either going to let me drive or you're going to drop me off here and somebody's going to come pick me up because you're not driving me anymore. You're a terrible driver." But I've said that with a couple of different people. And it's
I
like,
had a girlfriend. I said that too.
oh my gosh.
What was her thing? For my girlfriend, it was just she had to drive so fast and like get
Yeah, bob and
on this car.
weave.
Yes. And I was
There's
like,
lots
oh,
of-
we're gonna get there. Calm down.
Right. Just lots of bobbing and weaving. And then there are people that I will not drive with anymore also that it's the same kind of case. It's like, oh my gosh. Why are we bobbing and weaving? If we get there 3 minutes later than you think we're going to get there, it's it's okay.
Yeah, no, I'm
It's
with you.
all right. If you're on a time crunch that you can't manage to like be 3 minutes late to something, like sis, get it together.
I drove with her,
Oh
I
my
think,
gosh.
that girlfriend, twice. And I was like, nope, I'm driving any other time we go anywhere. And I did.
It's
God,
it's
the
crazy.
worst.
And then you get on
It's the
I-15
worst.
and it's like you get people that are bobbing and weaving it out in and out of traffic and it's like, but why? Like what makes I don't
We
know
got
what
places
kind
to
of-
be, McCall.
What is in your water that makes you think that you're just irresistible and like unstoppable?
Look, I'm just going to use my ghost powers.
I-
68255, the number to text. Start your text with VFX. Who is the worst backseat driver in your family? McCall's youngest sibling is hers. For me and all of my siblings, I think we'd be pretty collective on this one. It's mom. Speaking of driving, maybe, just maybe, if park narkers had very nagging backseat drivers, maybe they wouldn't park so bad. Or maybe that's what it is. Maybe they do have terrible backseat drivers, McCall, and they're just like, whatever. Throw it in a park. I'm like, I'm done. Just want to get out of the car.
Yeah.
That being said, hopefully you voted. Hopefully you've submitted any bad nominees that you have come across, because we've got 2 McDonald's gift cards that we're going to be giving out next while we see what we've got the day before voting closes. Tomorrow we'll find out who is the worst parker in Cache Valley, so make sure you get your votes in at Utah's VFX, pinned to the top of our Facebook page, because a couple times a week you got a chance to win free McDonald's, which we'll get to. AJ McCall at VFX. Just real quick, nominee number 1, got to take them all. It's a big old truck backed into 2 visitor parking spots, not even perfectly centered.
Yeah, trucks.
For serious, truck?
For serious.
Just you took the time to back up, and you couldn't even I'll give you if like one of the set of tires was like on the line, or maybe a smidge over,
sure.
because it's a truck.
Yeah.
It's big. I got that. And backing in is more difficult than pulling it forward. No, it's not that. It is 100% not that. Nominee number 2. There's enough room for someone else now. They remembered the AJ and McCall show definitely hammers on not parking in the special needs spots when you're not supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
It happens quite often in park narcs.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's something. So they didn't park in it. They did not park in it. They're just a little bit in it. But the problem is they parked in the stripy rectangle.
That's not where you're supposed to go. It
Facts.
says no. Lines say no.
And we've very understanding voters for park narcs. They try to see the benefit of the doubt or the best case scenario, and they said, well, if that SUV or van or whatever it is special needs, they did what they're supposed to. Maybe they have to get out on the left side where they left the extra space. I can't tell for sure. I'm pretty sure they have a pass, because at this point our park narkers check. Also, I got to be honest, it doesn't look like a vehicle that has like a ramp or something. They need the extra space. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just looking at it. I don't see it. I feel like this is a complete violation of a spot they're not supposed to be in.
I also don't think it would, be on that side.
No, that's true. So I'm going to say no. But decide for yourself. Maybe you think there's a little bit of room there and you leave it. That's your call. That is your call. That being said, Park Narcs brought to you by McDonald's. We've got a submission. We've got several submissions. Please send them. If you see terrible parking, take a picture, send them to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Utah's VFX. Voting also works. We had a voter win earlier this week. But today the winner is Carmelita. She's got a submission in. She could send us a few, actually. So she's going to win 2 free meals to McDonald's.
Woo!
All you got to do is submit or vote. McDonald's also hiring. They've got flexible schedules, free meals, perks. They're hiring at all Cache Valley and Box Elder locations with starting pay up to $10 an hour with shift differentials and tuition reimbursement up to $3,000 after 90 days. If you're interested in working in the McDonald's in Smithfield, text UT83 to 38000. Text UT83 to 3800. Speaking of food, McCall, maybe it's a late night. You're rolling around in the grocery store and you think, oh, I got a hankering for something. It's all the way to the other side of the store.
Ugh.
But there's a cart right there
No.
that has it in it.
No.
And it's completely abandoned.
Mm-mm.
Who's going to know? No one's going to know. No one's going to know.
They're going to know.
McCall and I are put in this really fun position where we play Am I a Jerk? And sometimes, we get to be the subject asking the question. I've been it more than my fair share. You're like, hey, you make a call. Am I a jerk?
Oh, gosh.
But who doesn't want to play this game? Somebody tells you your story and you're like, okay, I'll decide for you.
Fine.
AJ McCall at VFX. So we got this message. AJ and McCall, I was out shopping the other day, and it was like 9 p.m. I usually wait till my toddlers calm down for the day, and I wanted a special case of black cherry soda.
Hey, I'm a sucker for black cherry soda. I feel you.
Do black cherries exist in real life?
Yeah. Just like the really dark ones. Like,
Oh, that's it? Okay.
pretty
I thought
sure,
they looked
like-
cooler than that. No, never mind. Anyway, another point.
No, I used to have a cherry tree. I mean, there's a whole conversation we could go into.
Oh, McCall knows everything about
We'll
cherries. There you go.
dive into that later.
I saw a cart sitting there with the black cherry soda in it.
Delicious.
So there were a few other items, but no one was around.
Okay.
I checked the few aisles over each way to see if there was someone walking away for a second. Store was an absolute ghost town.
Score.
I took the case. I didn't feel like walking to the other end of the store. So I grabbed it, left.
No.
Am I a jerk?
Yes. You can't just take somebody's case of soda. Somebody else had to like scavenge for that. Hello? What do you think? It's just on the aisle shelves? No. You got to fight off bears and stuff for that stuff.
What, in what grocery stores do you stop shopping?
Well, okay. I don't really think that you're necessarily.
Get out of here. Gotta get my cherry soda.
This is my black cherry soda.
Punching bears in the face.
AJ aggressively pushed so hard the wind blew my papers off of my desk.
I'm
over
fighting
here.
a bear. You don't expect me to just tickle it, do you?
Tickle, tickle. So with that said, I don't necessarily think that you're like a jerk, but I also don't think that you should just take it, because what if they went to the bathroom? What if they were over by the bathroom and they had to go like put their cart there?
Yeah, what is cart policy when you go to the bathroom?
Well, you can't take it in because that's how shoplifting
yeah, you
happens.
definitely can't take it in.
So it's like back there.
Do you
like,
just leave it next to the door?
I mean,
there's
you
no way
kinda
you just
leave it over
leave it out
there.
in the aisle.
I mean, sort of. Like I think about it in reference to like Walmart, but you put it back there. They've got like that customer service area back in the back, and then you just kind of like put it over there, you know?
Yeah, but like, so I normally shop at Smith's, and the restroom's like right up front, and it's tiny because there's
Yeah,
like they got
you
all
just
the
leave
meat
it there.
deals. Yeah, it's crowded there. I think, should you take stuff out of people's carts?
No.
Are you entirely a jerk? No, because this person checked thoroughly, and for all they know, someone was like, "Oh, I gotta go." There's a bat signal, or they said, "You know what? I actually don't need this," and they just left. Because let's be honest, we know there are plenty of people who also don't put their stuff back.
Oh my gosh. I know.
I think there's enough gray area here that I could be like,
No.
should you have done it? No. Am I roasty toast you?
I will.
Well, you do that. You apparently shop in
How
places
dare
where bears
you.
just wander around aisles trying to get cherry soda. I didn't know those places existed.
I'm shocked that you didn't know that bears like cherry soda.
I would online shop too, honestly, if I knew that there were bears constantly in my grocery store.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
terrifying.
that settles it.
It's terrifying.
We're going to play everyone's favorite game,
I'm nervous.
drunk adult or child.
Okay, I like this game.
We've collected some more stories, and if you're unfamiliar, basically the way the game works is you tell us a story, and McCall and I try and figure out, were you drunk adult or were you a child? Because they run on the same chaotic energy.
So much.
We can deny it all we want, but the fact of the matter is drunk adults and kids run on the same kind of chaotic energy.
Yes.
So who doesn't love sharing silly stories and making a fun game out of it like we do for the Automatrix Group Debate at 8 with AJ McCall at VFX? And I'm so glad that people have shared some of their stories with us. Are you ready, McCall?
Yeah.
All right, Jeremy, you're up first. What's your story?
So the story is I dove headfirst into a Christmas tree
Ooh.
to get one of my parents' attention.
What do you got, McCall? Drunk adult or kid?
I'm going to go with kid.
Yeah, it definitely seems like a big act out, right? If you're a kid, or if you're a drunk adult, excuse me, and you're like, tackle the Christmas tree.
I got it.
All right, Jeremy. McCall says kid, so I get drunk adult. What is it?
Drunk adult.
Yes!
So I was at my dad's company Christmas party, and I was doing some karaoke, and I'm singing all of his favorite songs, and he's totally ignoring me. And so to get his attention, I did a beeline across the lobby and dove headfirst into the Christmas tree.
Look, so McCall, do you remember when we...
Oh, no, I'm nervous. I don't like do you remember when
No.
we...
No, we talk about this, some kind of or holiday get-together come up, right? What is the one rule with work events? You try to get out there without being a ridiculous story.
Oh, yes.
Now, Dad, especially with, drunk adult kid,
Rough.
that's going to be a story for a while.
Rough.
Okay, Thomas, you're next. What's your story?
So I poured a huge cooler full of cold red Kool-Aid all over my neighbor's 90-year-old grandparents
Oh.
while they were in a jacuzzi just hanging out.
I'm going to go on this one. That's got to be a drunk adult move. Thomas, I'm impressed. I mean, if it's a kid, I'm impressed. But I'm gonna go with drunk adult.
Doesn't Kool-Aid stain your skin? Like, isn't that a thing?
I mean, if it sits on for a while, yeah.
I don't know the hot tub.
I mean, I wish I could go.
Oh, man, then you got to clean it out.
Oh, I don't own one, but I've heard it's a pain.
Ugh.
I wish I could go with drunk adult because I agree. Because I just can't imagine a kid having the patience to make the Kool-Aid and then not like drink it or whatever. But that being said, Thomas, which is it?
I was a little kid.
Oh.
My best friend dared me to do it, and he filmed it. And actually, I ended up going to military school because of
Oh,
it.
wow.
And I don't talk to him anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't talk to him anymore either. If somebody sent me to military school, I definitely wouldn't talk to him. Wow.
I mean, okay, maybe military school's a bit extreme, but
maybe.
my worst experience with Kool-Aid is if anybody watches wrestling, it's usually Japanese. Sometimes the luchador wrestlers do like those fireballs and they'll spit like mist, right?
Sure.
I thought a Kool-Aid, it's the same thing, right? It's the
Oh,
color.
no.
That stuff like concaved my face because of how
It's so
hard it
sour.
was. Yes.
Ugh.
Oh, it was worst.
Ugh. It's making
All right.
my mouth water right now. I don't like it. Ugh.
All right, Rhonda, 2 for 2. What's your story?
So I dropped my brand new ice cream cone down a sewer, and I just started to weep uncontrollably in front of all of my friends.
I'm gonna go with drunk adult on this one.
This isn't fair. McCall weeps uncontrollably all the time.
How
she has
dare you.
experience with this.
How dare you?
Would you weep over spilled ice cream?
Yeah.
That seems like just enough. Okay, so I got kid then.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see it either way. Let's be honest, especially now this time of year. But all right, I got kid. What is it, Rhonda?
Drunk adult. I was just so drunk and so hungry. My friends and I talked about this specialty ice cream shop in Miami all day long, and they were closing. We finally got there, and I got the last ice cream cone for the night, and not even 5 minutes later, I just dropped it down the sewer drain.
Oh.
You make a special trip. You get the last
Yep.
one, and
When we were in Montana, we stopped in Virginia City, and they have a specialty ice cream shop up there, and it was really good. And I could see myself sober crying over an ice cream cone if I had spilled it. I would be so sad.
look, McCall's been. We've gone to conferences in Chicago.
Yeah.
One of my all-time favorite restaurants exists there, Portillo's.
Yeah.
They have a very famous chocolate cake shake. I love that. I
Did
get
I
it
get that
every time I go.
I think
Yes,
I got that
you did.
one. I don't
If
remember.
I drop that, not only would I cry, anybody in a 10-foot radius just better run. I'm swinging.
There's
Just angry tantruming.
oh gosh. This is one of my favorite games though.
I love this game. Again, you can share your story anytime. Like you can leave us a message and we will get to it, and then you can keep
Please.
it anonymous if you want.
Yeah.
435-787-0945. Speaking of which, we got a message coming in, which I think is going to completely change the frame of Drunk Adult or Kid. We're going to call this your backup messes.
Oh no.
You know it's going to be bad. It's already Drunk Adult or Kid. Now we're changing it to backup messes? Oh, it's bad. It's
Eh.
bad. Backup messes. You walk in the room and you go, no, absolutely not.
I am leaving right now.
I didn't see anything here.
No.
AJ and McCall for the Automatrix Group debate at 8 on VFX. We're playing Drunk Adult or Kid, and we got a message, much in the same vein, decided to take a little bit different spin with it.
So somebody sent us this message, said, I decided to dump an entire bottle of baby powder into a fan to see how big of a cloud it would make. Drunk adult or kid. And this just like spun me into a frenzy because
My answer, Kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. So this spun me into a frenzy because can you even imagine the pain
Nope.
that it must be
Nope.
to have to like
Everywhere.
ah
Everywhere.
that stuff never comes out.
Everywhere.
Like I've got a friend who we were just talking about this the other day. She grabbed her container of formula and grabbed it. The lid wasn't fastened all the way, all over her car. And it's all over in like the seats and their fabric seats.
Oof.
And that stuff is sticky. It's the same kind of thing with like baby powder.
Didn't you learn that lesson with soda?
I?
Yeah. That you're not supposed to keep it in a cold car. Wasn't that you?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I did. But that was totally different though, because like the formula powder, I wasn't thinking in that vein. But yeah, I had a Rockstar in my car that I had purchased a couple of different Rockstars and just left them overnight. Didn't think it would be that big of a deal. No, sis, it is a big deal. It exploded.
I've got a friend that could beat that story.
It was terrible. I looked at it. I was like, can I call in like sick to work? Because I don't want to have to clean this up.
I had a buddy.
Awful.
I had a buddy in high school, college, middle school. I still know him now. He's a good friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
So his older brother turned 21.
Yeah.
So his parents went out with them.
Okay.
And so he gets a call in the middle of the night. And it's a police officer saying, "Hey, we found your family members wandering on the side of the street.
What?
So you either come pick them up now, or they're going to spend the night in lockup." So of course he goes and gets them, right?
Right.
So he's trying to drive them from outside the city back home, and all of a sudden he hears his brother be like, "I don't feel so good." So he tries to roll down the window.
No.
He goes, "No, just we're almost there. Just no." All of a sudden his brother loses it all over the car.
Ugh.
And then his dad loses it all over the car.
That's terrible.
So now two people are thrown up everywhere. And the next day his dad says, "Okay, I'll pay for it." They get it cleaned and everything. The problem is he worked at a campground, and so it just sat and baked.
Gross.
Baked.
That's
And he said it
disgusting.
the smell
You gotta get
never
rid of your car
left.
at that point.
I was like,
you gotta reupholster everything.
that
Pull
point-
it all apart, get rid of it.
You pull everybody out and you just Molotov it. We're done. Burn it to the ground.
Ah, that's terrible.
68255, the number to text. Start your text with VFX. What is your backup mess? You walked in, you saw it, and you're like,
I don't want to do this.
Nope.
We're not cleaning
Just
this. Mm-mm.
just closed the door and walked out.
I feel like that's how I feel with dishes some days. It's like I come home and I'm like,
Once upon a time, me and my friends got in a water gun fight, and the hose got involved in the house. And my genius idea to clean everything up was just to tidy things up. And I was like, it'll dry. It didn't. So, the first of, I think, about 3 times I heard my full name used by my mom. And I'd imagine at that point, besides, getting a hold of the one that did it, be like, nope, just back out. Don't look at me like that. I was 14. Not even that.
it's okay. It's okay. Sometimes you just don't know what you're doing. It just breaks my heart.
Speaking of my mom, because she always loves to share stories to try and embarrass me, I stumbled across one yesterday I did not know. Somehow she turned this into a game, and now everybody gets to play. You need 2 things. 1, to have kids. 2, the pregnancy craving that you had the strongest for during pregnancy of 1, all kids, etc. My mom turned this into a game to embarrass me. I cannot believe this, but I'm going to tell you what I would have been named if it would have been after a pregnancy craving. Classic mom, always looking for a way to embarrass me. I don't know how she turned this into a game. AJ McCall at VFX. I don't even know how we got on the subject. Probably because she asked me if I'm having kids again. At this point, I've just blacked out that question because I just don't want to remember it anymore. Long story short, I started talking about pregnancy craving somehow. And I think that commercial came on, or maybe it was a meme, and I showed her. It was the meme. There's that one that's like, why is my sister named after roses? And it's like, oh, because your mom loves roses. Why am I named? And he's like, oh, okay, I love you too, Limp Bizkit, or whatever it was.
Right.
And she says, oh, that's funny, because if it was something like that, it would have been chocolate-covered pickles. I was like, wait a minute,
That's
what?
disgusting.
That's what I crave. With me specifically, her craving was chocolate-covered pickles.
Mom, I'm worried about you.
That's kind of the attitude I had, because pickles suck!
Oh, I like pickles.
You want some? Can I interest you in some chocolate-covered
No, thanks.
pickles?
I'll pass. I'm all right.
So that's the game. Your strongest pregnancy craving, maybe the one that just stands out the most to you, whatever it was, if that was what you were named after because you're just obsessed with it, what would it be? And apparently, mine is chocolate-covered pickles.
That's gross.
Which is, yeah, I can't stand it. I got in an argument with an intern last night. I went out to dinner with a bunch of people, and they were like, they're really famous for their spicy pickles. I said, that's really great because pickles suck.
Spicy pickles are good.
Pickles,
only if they're battered and then dipped in ranch.
I'm pretty positive they are. I don't know because again,
delicious.
I will not subject myself to the torture that is eating a pickle.
No.
But no. And I wish I would have thought of it, but I don't know what the cravings were for my other siblings. But the way she said, I don't think it was chocolate-covered pickcking each time. I think it was something different.
Right.
Thank
Usually.
goodness she was only insane for that pregnancy.
I don't know what mine would be. From my mom, because I want to say there was one time she craved like a fish sandwich from McDonald's, right? One of those.
You get to be faux fish.
Real fish, guys. It's real fish sandwiches.
A girlfriend in college who in high school worked at McDonald's, and filet of fish shows up as FO fish.
Oh yeah.
So we called it faux fish.
Faux fish.
So you get to be a faux fish sandwich.
Yeah. So anyway, that was one. My mom craved it one time. She does not like fish. She craved it one time.
Okay, so that one stands out.
She ate it. She threw up. So.
Yeah, that'd probably ruin it for me too.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's chocolate pickles and faux fish in the morning.
That's right. Gross.
We got a postcode up on our social media, Utah's VFX. Moms, if your kids were named after the craving, the strongest, the most unusual, you picked the terms, or just a pregnancy craving you had that stood out to you during with each of your kids, what would they be named? You're looking at chocolate pickles and faux fish. Actually, while we're at that, poll of the day getting ready to go up too, I want to ask you this, because now I'm not traditional really ever, let's be honest, ever. But when it comes to the wedding stuff, I tend to find myself a little bit more that way. Like, I want to be the one that proposes, and I want to do some more of the traditional things at the ceremony itself. That seems to be the way that I go. That being said, I think one of the things we've discovered with weddings and stuff is that there's definitely some ways that I would feel you could definitely jinx the special day.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like McCall and I, after yesterday, have fully put ourselves in that realm.
Yes.
But which is the more jinxiest
The jinxiest
of situations? Look, I'm not overly superstitious, but, I might be a little bit stitious.
Mm-hmm.
AJ and McCall on VFX. And so you get to decide for us, though, on the Thermo Fisher poll of the day, who is the jinxiest of the two of us? Because if you didn't know, and if so, you should find Utah's VFX on YouTube. I once upon a time, as an iPod Idol punishment, on Valentine's Day, no less, had to go propose to strangers. And I did it 4 times.
That's right. He did.
We had a fake ring and everything. I had bouquets.
I got it at Walmart. It was like $10. It's great.
Romance is romance.
Romance is romance.
So I did
romance
that.
knows no bounds with the AJ McCall
So I
show.
technically, I guess, can't say I haven't proposed.
Right.
Did I put in the most effort? No. But I did it. Then yesterday, all I'm going to tell you is that McCall put on a wedding dress for some stuff that we were doing.
I did. Man, I look good in that dress, by the way. Like, I am, baffled. Because it was an ugly wedding dress. I bought it on purpose to be an ugly wedding dress. And I was like, yep, this is hideous. And I put it on and I was like, yep, McCall Taylor, making ugly wedding dresses look good since today. So,
my question is, and what you're deciding for the poll of the day, make sure you find Utah's VFX. Make sure you find AJ and McCall, both on Instagram, across a bunch of social media. Who is the more jinxier one? Which is more likely to potentially invoke a jinx and cause harm to a potential future wedding? McCall?
Harm? Are we causing damage or harm? Like, are we what? Are people dying?
Harm?
That's what harm sounds
does
like to
not
me.
mean-
Wow.
Okay, thank you, Miss. I shop in grocery stores that have bears in them. Harm does not mean physical pain necessarily. It just means contradictory or bad to the situation. How about that? All right?
Okay.
Cause issues. How about, is that better for you? Issues.
Thank you. Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, I'm over here having a panic attack over that. I don't like that. Danger.
Which is more likely to jinx a potential future wedding? Me having fake proposed, McCall having worn an ugly wedding dress to shoot some videos. Which one's worse?
I don't know. I really don't.
I don't want it to be me, but I
that's great.
In interest of look, I don't want it to be me. I'm not saying I hope that your wedding's terrible, but look, me or you, it's kind of tough. I'm kind of
That's rude.
me. Look,
I don't want it to be
but in
me.
the interest of fairness, McCall wore the wedding dress once. I don't know. She showed it off, so add that. She took pictures of it, but I
did.
proposed 4 times. So
That's right.
it's just in the numbers game, so you have all the information. Think I'm about to steal. I messed that up.
That was terrible.
Apparently, I can't hit the microphone either.
That was even better.
You want to go? You got it.
No.
I think I'm about to steal. Agent, I'm McCall Taylor. If you're friends with us, prepare to get stolen. Your post.
Yeah.
VFX's Facebook roulette.
So I landed on my friend Aisha's post, and it says, remember, if you're not speaking it, you're storing it, and that gets heavy. That's an emotional thing.
Wow.
Okay?
That's good.
If you're not speaking it, you're storing it,
like
and that gets heavy.
I like that a lot.
Yeah,
actually.
I do too.
Wow, that's good. Okay.
I'm an early winner.
I like that. I landed on my friend Denny. It's a picture of a dog at a computer, and it says dogs who bought tennis ball also bought tug of war rope, bone, and this chew toy.
Uh-huh. What a smart dog.
I know, right?
What a smart dog.
You can win.
Score.
McCall's also reading a story about a dog who throws bricks.
Yeah. Dog. Man got arrested because his dog learned how to throw bricks at people ringing the doorbell because the owner taught him to.
My kind of dog.
Oh boy, you can't.
Him big dog with good job.
Dude, they're big bricks too. Wow. No thanks.
The AJ Knight, the McCall Taylor. Of course, find us across all social media. Utah's VFX, you can vote for Park Narcs. Again, a few times each week, we give away 2 McDonald's meals. So by voting, by submitting for Park Narcs, you can win. Definitely find AJ and McCall. That's AJ AND MCCALL on Instagram and Facebook. Vote for our poll today of which one is the biggest jinx when it comes to our potential future weddings. And then also, I know I hate when people do this to me too. I'm like, just tell me the whole story. You'll see. But we went and did another video shoot yesterday. Like you saw our intro videos we've been doing, right? Where we did the rapid fire questions and stuff like that.
Yep.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep. And if you didn't see it, go find AJ and McCall on Instagram.
See. Like, follow, etc.
Ta-da!
Subscribe, all that stuff.
Yeah.
AJ Shift 7 McCall. That's ampersand on your keyboard. That one is for our Twitch, which we do the after show Monday and Friday at 10:30.
Yep.
We get into stuff that we can't necessarily get into on the show. We expand on it. Producer Butters jumps on. And then it's also for the podcast. AJ Shift 7 McCall to find our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, all that kind of stuff. So until tomorrow for the AJ McCall Show.
Speak your feelings and don't do anything we wouldn't do.
And thanks for listening to VFX.